are under proportions, ratios, whatever. It's all the same. Only the names change. Proportions or ratios, rates, whatever. Proportions, ratios, rates, etc., etc., etc. What do you suppose I'm going to tell you? You know where that went? I have no idea where that went. Then go somewhere out of our. Anybody? Just leave it like
There's everything.
Well, it's so big. Hold on a second. Zoom full. You gotta zoom out somehow. Okay, wrong one. There they are. Look at that. See, there was the problem. The problem was this was moved way into begin with. We're gonna move this up here. Maybe hit it one more time.
It's up there.
It is up there. Okay, so write down this problem here. Let's say this happens here. If 6 books weigh 15 pounds, if 6 books weigh 15 pounds, comma, how much would 20 books weigh? How much could a woodchuck chuck if he could? Did I say 20 books? How much would 20 books weigh? Guess what I'm going to tell you you need to do. Well, not even necessarily draw a picture, but a ratio box, a proportion box, a percentage box, it's all the same in math. You are comparing, anytime you're comparing these things, that's a ratio, a proportion. Okay, this is your ratio. This is the actual. And here are the two things you're comparing. It doesn't matter really which one you put on top. I'll put books on top because that's the first one I talk about. And this is pounds. I know that 6 books would be 15 pounds. And the question it is asking me is, how much would 20 books be? Now here again, I'm not so sure we've picked this up, even though we've gone over it like 3 days because I get tired there. You need to take this and make equal fractions with it. 6 over 15 equals 20 over n. Okay, and it doesn't, at this point, work out very prettily, because you can't go, what 6 times what is 20, nothing nice. So if that happens, what should we do? Cross multiply, which means, and I always like to do the n part first, 6 times what number equals 20 times 15. And 6 times n then is going to equal 300. If you divide by 6 and you divide by 6, guaranteed 6 will go into 300 50 times. 20 books will weigh 50 pounds. Okay. Now you could also, if you wanted to do this a different way, you could figure out how much each books weigh. How would you figure out how much each book weighs? If you know that 6 books weigh 15 pounds, Gary, how would you figure out how much each book weighs?
You would have to do totals.
If you know that 6 books weigh 15 pounds, how would you find out how much one book weighs?
I would divide 6 into 15.
Okay, 6 into 15. Each book, you're taking 15 and splitting it in 6 ways. You know, each book is going to weigh what? 2.5 pounds. And if you know how much each book weighs, you just have to multiply that by how many books you're talking about, which would be what? 20, and multiply that. And that's another way to do it. To me, it's just as easy to do this rather than do that or whatever. But this would be your, kind of your constant of proportionality, remember we talked about that? Every book would be 2.5 pounds, that'd be what you multiply everything by to get that. I can tell you're mesmerized by that, let's look at another one. Julio is riding in a 50-kilometer bike race. Write that down. Julio, like my fancy, Julio is riding in a, what did I say, 50-kilometer? 50 km race. Hopefully he's riding in a car. He passed the 15-kilometer mark. He passed 15 kilometers in 27 minutes. Wow, he is flying. He passed that 15-kilometer thing in 27 minutes. If he continues at the same rate, how long will it take him to finish? Now, is it going to assess me how long will it take him to finish the whole race? As I said, that'd be two different questions there. Okay. Now you have to read into the, you've got a ratio given to you. He is doing 15 kilometers in 27 minutes. So when you do your proportion box, okay, what am I comparing? I'm comparing kilometers to minutes. He did 15K in 27 minutes. How many kilometers is the whole race? 50. And you want to know how long it'll take him here. First stay on that whole box thing there. And it would be great if you could just say, okay, 15 times 3 is 50, so I could multiply this by 3, but you can't because it don't. So you're going to have to set it up with fraction-wise. By the way, I'm going to throw this at you. You could, well, let's do it. Here's, right, 15 over 27 equals 50 over n. Children, anytime you can reduce a fraction, feel free to do that, because it'll make your multiplication easier. You know what number goes into both of these? 3. I can divide them both by 3. That gives me a 5 up here and a 9 down there. Now that I've reduced it, it actually makes it easier because I don't have to do the cross multiplying, because I can go from 5 to 50 by doing what? Multiplying by 10. So I multiply the bottom by 10. And as fate would have it, he is going to take 90 minutes to finish the race. Okay. Always check to see, by the way, I think we could have reduced on the last one. Could we have?
Yeah.
Back at this one here, I don't know if it would have done us any good. 6/15 could have been reduced to what? 3/5. And see, that wouldn't help us there because what times 3 gives you 20?
Yeah.
Oh, 2/5. Who said 3/5?
I just,
So you get down the path of despair there. Now this does help. I was going to say it should have worked out. 2 times what is 20? 10. So 5 times 10 would have given me 50 there. So that's kind of the beauty of the whole bicameral system. It's like